It's 2 minutes past 7, so we'll get going. And yes, we're here tonight to talk about the Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals that Australian Pacific College is delivering in partnership with Bundoora Secondary College. So to get us started, I would like to firstly introduce Fernanda. Fernanda is our Melbourne campus manager. She's our feet on the ground in Melbourne. So hello, Fernanda.
Hi everyone. Thank you all for coming and being here with us tonight.
Excellent, awesome. So what we're going to do is we'll get started. First, a little housekeeping. So if you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A and we'll get back to them at the end. So there's a little question and answer Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. You can type anything you want in there and we'll circle back and answer those questions near the end. Your video and your microphone are muted just because we find it works better with large groups. Okay, so let's get into it. I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. So APC Education Group would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather to live and learn and pay our respects to their elders past, present and future. May we all continue to welcome newcomers as freely as they have and walk and learn side by side to extend our respects to the First Nations peoples of this land you are joining us from. About APC, we are an RTO, a registered training organisation that was established back in 1994. We have 11 campuses across Vic, New South Wales and Queensland, offering 36 vet courses. We're experienced educators. We like to work in the space of social entrepreneurship, and we have previously operated a senior high school from year 10. So we are experienced in high school delivery and how to educate our young people. APC has been successful in the last couple of years in receiving some industry accolades, awards, and government funding towards our projects and development of courses. So we just want you to know that we're trusted educators, we're experienced, and we're really good at what we do. So the Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals, that's the course we're here to talk about today. We want to inspire future entrepreneurs, and we're going to do that by educating our students with a portfolio of skills for entrepreneurship and for their employment. Oh, fancy animation. So we thought we'd start by just explaining what is vocational education. It is study that offers you the opportunity to learn specific and practical job skills. It prepares you for jobs with a focus on real world and industry-based skills. So it's the perfect pathway for students that are looking for a quicker path into the workforce or a non-ATAR pathway into university. So you'd start with a certificate 1, 2, 3, or 4, then diplomas and advanced diplomas, and then graduate certificates and graduate diplomas. That's all in the vocational sector. So you can see a nice pathway through to university at bachelor's level. The year 11 and 12 is considered equivalent to certificate 3. So that's just a little benchmark there for you. So about our Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals, our host school we're partnering with is Bundoora Secondary College. So this course is open to any Bundoora Secondary College students, as well as students coming from other schools in the Northern Cluster in Melbourne. The course is starting in term 1 of 2023, and it will go for 8 terms, which is a 2-year duration. So it's perfect for students that are about to go into year 10. They can study in year 10 and 11 to complete this course. The entry requirements are successful completion of year 9 or equivalent and a minimum age of 15. So really, it's quite open and accessible for the students. Expressions of interest are due by 5 p.m. 16th of September. So if this course is of interest to you, please go ahead and register that expression of interest. It doesn't mean you can't pull out later. It doesn't mean you can't have more of a chat and determine exactly what you want to do. You don't have to have made up your mind entirely. It is just that expression of interest, and then we can get in contact to give you more information if you need it. So Carla's going to post the link to that form into the chat for you, so you can copy and paste that out and give it a quick link. The key benefits of this course, I really wanted to highlight it because you might be thinking, well, how does entrepreneurship fit with creative industries for the Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals? So it's that entrepreneurial mindset, that skill set and tool set that students are going to use that give them that entrepreneurial mindset, creative thinking processes, hands-on skills using Adobe CC software, access to industry with guest speakers and excursions, problem-solving skills, collaboration and teamwork skills. The students are going to work really hands-on with expert teachers and trainers, and they're going to participate in projects where they're going to be delivering pitch events, so presentation skills. And all of this is going to combine into the building of portfolio of skills for employment. Students will also be working creatively to have creative outcomes that can go into a creative portfolio for those more creative jobs as well. So it's a beautiful balance of creative skills and creative industries with those entrepreneurial employability skills. So with the entrepreneurial mindset, skill set, and tool set, there is the notion of feel, think, do, and repeat. And the students are going to have the opportunity to do this through the projects that they're doing within this course. So we'll be asking them to respond to a problem, to feel, what do they feel about that? How do they think that that problem should be solved for their immediate environment, their immediate community? How are they going to do that? And then next term, we're going to repeat that process in another project so that they're building these skills and they're getting some repetition in how to approach problems in real life as you do in the workplace. Again, the design thinking processes and problem solving skills in terms of business cases, hands-on projects, ideation and prototyping. So this is a really key skill. How do I come up with an idea? And then how do I see if that idea's got merit? Is it going to work? Presentation and communication skills. How do they communicate their ideas to other people to get backing? Maybe it's to get funding. Maybe it's to get a partnership. Understanding user experience in terms of design thinking. This is a really important one. It's not so much about how we think and how we experience things, but how do other people experience things and how do other people think? And then using and designing various media for effective and impactful social engagement. So with the entrepreneurship, we like to push towards social entrepreneurship and being really engaged with our community. These are the subjects. So 8 subjects, 1 subject per term for 8 terms for following the school terms. These are the subjects here with the units of competency. So if you have a quick scan of these, you can see that some are thinking and problem solving based. Some are about the design process and communicating ideas, drawing, whether it be hand or digital, sourcing and applying design industry knowledge, participating in collaborative creative groups, writing content for a range of media. The students will be working with each other to build on each of their strengths within these projects. They might take a lead role or maybe a lesser role in each different project as relates to their interests. But they will each be learning all the skills and performing all the criteria involved in each of these units of competency. So career opportunities. This is a really important one, because when we're speaking with our young people and you say to them, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? What are you interested in? What's your favorite subject? Some of them know the answer and some of them find that hard. But if you ask them, you know, what sort of job sounds exciting, maybe some of these are the right answers. So entrepreneur or intrapreneur. I get asked a lot, what's an intrapreneur? What's the difference? An intrapreneur is somebody that has entrepreneurial behaviors or has new ideas and innovates within their workplace, rather than having to take on all the risk and be the small business owner or the large business owner. So intrapreneur is really a key skill set. A startup or small business owner, design assistant, product assistant, graphic designer, graphic artist, all quite creatively based here, but these creative skills apply to all sorts of digital media, social media marketing, marketing and communications roles. So the opportunities are quite diverse. We're not going to deliver this with a traditional classroom setting. We are going to have masterclasses, boot camps, pitch events, study support sessions, and then the students will need to do some self-paced learning as well. But it's going to be fun. We are going to have enjoyable projects. The students are often going to have the freedom to choose a client or choose a topic that they're responding to. There are no exams. So students are assessed through a combination of activities like pitch events and presentations, collaborative projects, creating and putting together a body of creative work, some short answer questions and some quizzes. But what's great is a lot of this will be group-based projects where they present as a group, which means they get to be co-creators. And I think that that's something really exciting. Working together and collaborating, they get to innovate. So why do a Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals? It's a really good question. It can be completed in year 10, 11, or 12. And when successfully completed, a student with a Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals can go into various diploma level courses. Once they have a diploma level course, they can then go through university pathways into a non-ATAR pathway to university. Now, I'll show you in a minute, APC has quite a few relationships with universities. And if you do one of our diplomas, it says on our website what those universities are. But you can also get access to any other university on a case by case. So with that application, you apply with your diploma and they'll assess how much credit. So you can be entering the second year of a degree in university with that diploma level course. So that step 1, Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals, is the first stepping stone on the way to a non-ATAR pathway to university. And the best thing is, if you guys complete the Certificate 3 in Design Fundamentals and you want to take a gap year, that's fine. You can just pause your studies and come back later, and you're still going to be able to get credit into the university system, which is just a beautiful thing. It's low stress. It's a new process that a lot of people don't really know about, but it's got so much value. So these are our partners. These are all the universities and institutions that APC has pathway agreements with. So something to keep in mind, some really amazing universities there. And like I said, if there's another university you're interested in or course you're interested in, the diploma will still be considered by those universities for credit and entry into a bachelor's degree. So I have a video to play. I think we have a few minutes. We're doing pretty well for time. So I'll play this video which talks about entrepreneurship. Hopefully you can hear my sound.
I would like to discuss 3 questions with you. First, why is entrepreneurship education important? Second, why do we need it in high schools? And third, what do the students stand to gain from entrepreneurship education? Well, let's consider the first question. Why is it important? As we're witnessing every day, the world of work and therefore society is rapidly changing. Now, I've been lucky through my work with the United Nations, with the World Bank, and more recently with the European Commission to see just how central entrepreneurship education has become to policy initiatives that address societal change and better prepare our youth for what is to be in their futures. You can see from the example here, the development of the EntreComp teaching framework in Europe is increasingly being used at schools all across Europe, even reshaping the entire national curriculum in Wales. Here, students are developing entrepreneurial mindsets through which they are able to understand how to recognise and act on opportunities and to transform them into value for themselves and others. So you might be asking now, why do we need to do this in high schools? Well, having taught entrepreneurship education for over 20 years in universities, I can assure you that for many, it's too late for students by then. They've not developed the appropriate schemas in their minds to deal with the complex learning situations that we can want to connect them up to in terms of their tertiary studies. We know from the learning sciences that to maximise their brain development, we need our young learners physically moving, engaged with others, and learning in holistic processes. Importantly, we need them to also be learning through situations in addition to subjects, just like is now happening in schools all across Finland. So to our final question. My passion for what APC is doing in this space is linked to their genuine interest in what is in it for the students, and that is confidence, self-awareness, and connection to others in society, and the hope that they gain from the emancipatory agency that entrepreneurship education naturally seeks to develop. From this perspective, entrepreneurship education also directly offsets many of the challenges young students experience with anxiety, as the self-awareness it develops works naturally against the very processes that would underpin anxiety.
Excellent. Thank you, Colin Jones. Colin is a great believer in entrepreneurship and a very inspirational individual. So that's everything I prepared for you tonight about the course. As Colin said, it's fantastic for the students' confidence, the skill set and the portfolio of skills that they're going to take into their futures for further study and employability. I'd like to now open it up to questions. Fernanda, do we have any questions in the Q&A?
So far we don't have any question. Maybe let's give a couple of minutes if anyone has any question that can type in the Q&A now.
Yeah, sure. That would be great.
Okay, we have now one. Can you elaborate on the bootcamp? What does that involve? Rachel?
Absolutely. Anesti, thank you. That's a great question. So a boot camp style of session is teamwork. So the students are going to be working together in their groups and responding to the projects, the design briefs, the problems, and within that group, they're going to be set a set of activities that will help them to challenge the problem, to challenge their solutions and their ideas. And that will really help them to build those skills, not only in collaboration and communication and innovation, but also challenge them to think in a different way to what they would normally. I hope that
Awesome.
is a good explanation of boot camp.
Thank you, Rachel. And can you let us know a little bit more about the masterclass? What is that and what involves as well?
Absolutely. Thank you, Fernanda. So a masterclass session is much like what you might see on MasterChef. A masterclass is when the trainer or a guest speaker is going to really give students some key knowledge about the subject matter that they're learning. So it could be all various different topics. It's a presentation style where content is given to the students and some question and answer, but really it's a focused delivery of content in a lecture style setting where students are going to absorb information, learn key skills, and then they'll break out after the masterclass and go to the boot camp and start using those skills.
Awesome. We have another question from Anesti, and this is very interesting because I know that the students are very interested about this as well. Is there a lot of work outside the classroom, and how do students collaborate outside the classroom as well?
Both great questions. There is some work outside the classroom, as there is with any subject that students do. The difference is, I think this is going to be a lot more interesting for students because they're able to really direct the work towards their own interests, and they're going to find it fun. They're very different projects to the sorts of work that they're doing at school at the moment. You know, they're not going to be writing essays or doing a lot of research. The sort of research they're going to do is more walking around and absorbing what's going on in the community and thinking about ways it could be different. So yes, there is a bit of work outside the classroom. Some of that work that's done outside of the classroom might also be meeting with their groups to collaborate. So it could be done in lunchtime even. They could be sitting there in their groups, having a chat about the project, brainstorming. They might be doing they might want to set up a different platform that they're communicating in. So they might communicate through a WhatsApp or a different platform that they're using in their school or in their groups of friends to do that communication. But then what we'll be doing is asking students to bring that back to the learning management system, which is how we deliver the course, where the students submit their work and they're able to download all the resources and content. So they can also communicate through the learning management system, which we call My APC Hub.
Awesome. Very interesting. Thank you, Rachel. Do we have any other questions that you would like to add?
Thank you so much, guys. So Carla posted in the chat the links to the frequently asked questions, the short video for entrepreneurship, if you want to share that with friends or family. We have the expression of interest form and the flyer. Please, if you have any more questions, I'll pop my email into the chat as well. And please feel free to email me with any questions that you might have about the course. We'd be more than happy to tell you all about it. So I'm just popping that into the chat now. And you can copy and paste that out and save it for later. And yes, please do ask any questions. Check out the FAQs. We've done so well for time, everyone. It's 7:26. I hope everybody's going to go and enjoy a lovely dinner with their families. Excellent. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Anesti and Bo. Have a lovely evening.
Good night.